Sociolinguistics is still clearly unified through its concern with how people use language to seek to resist, protect, or increase various kinds of power. Why does speaker X behave this way, but speaker Y behave that way? To answer that question, we must look at such issues as identity, group membership, power, and socialization. Power plays a significant role in everything that happens. Bourdieu, 1991, conceived of languages as symbolic marketplace in which some people have more control of the goods than others, because certain languages or varieties have been endowed with more symbolic power than others and have therefore been given a greater value. Example given standard languages, certain accents, a particular gender style of speaking, a specific type of discourse. Is language just another cultural artifact like property, possessions, or money, which is used for the expression of power and or as a medium of exchange? One aspect of the power of professionals is said to be the way they are able to use language to control others. How do physicians, psychiatrists, lawyers, social workers, teachers, priests, police officers, etc. use language to control others? Does this same power principle apply to parents in relation to children, men in relation to women, upper social classes in relation to lower social classes, speakers of standard languages in relation to speakers of non-standard varieties of those languages, and so on? This work has been called Linguistics with a Conscience and Cause, on which seeks to reveal how language is used and abused in the exercise of power and the suppression of human rights. Widowson, 1998, page 136. Two of its main exponents are Fairclough, 1995, 2001, and Van Dyck, 1993, who championed an approach called critical discourse analysis. This work focuses on how language is used to exercise and preserve power and privilege in society, how it buttress social institutions, and how even those who suffer as a consequence fail to realize how many things that appear to be natural and normal are not at all so. They are not so because it is power relations in society that determine who gets to say what and who gets to write what. The claim is that politics, medicine, religion, education, law, race, gender, and academia can only be understood for what they really are within the framework of critical discourse analysis. As systems that maintain an unequal distribution of wealth, income, status group, membership, education, and so on. Fairclough, 2001, page 6, expresses what he says as the failure of sociolinguistics to deal with such matters as follows. Sociolinguistics is strong on what? Questions. What are the facts of variation, but weak on why and how? Question. Why are the facts as they are? How in terms of development of social relationships of power was the existing sociolinguistic order brought into being? How is it sustainable and how might it be changed to the advantage of those who are dominated by it? Power requires some kind of asymmetrical relationship between entities. One has more of something that is important, example giving status, money, influence, etc., than the other or others. A language has more power than any of its dialects. It is the powerful dialect, but It has become so because of non-linguistic factors. Standard English and Parisian French are good examples. A feeling of solidarity can lead people to preserve a local dialect or an endangered language to resist power or to insist on independence. It accounts for the persistence of local dialects, the modernization of Hebrew, and the separation of Serbo-Croatian into Serbian and Croatian. The linguistic situations in IT and Greece are intimately tied to power relationship among social groups. Males may drink in Guarani but use more and more Spanish as they feel the influence of alcohol. For Spanish is the language of power. Spanish may also be the language they choose to use when addressing superiors, and there may be some conflict in choosing between Spanish and Guarani in addressing parents or grandparents. In such situations, solidarity tends to win over power, and Guarani is often the choice. Courtship may begin in Spanish, but if it goes anywhere, it will proceed in Guarani. Mental jokes and talk about women and sports in Guarani, but they discuss business affairs in Spanish. We can see still other examples of how a speaker may deliberately choose to use a specific language to assert some kind of right. A bilingual in French and English, French Canadian, may insist on using French to an official of the federal government outside Quebec. A bilingual Catalan and Spanish resident of Barcelona may insist on using Catalan. A bilingual Welsh and English resident of Wales may insist on using Welsh, and so on. In these cases, code choice becomes a form of political expression, a move either to resist some other power, or to gain power, or to express solidarity. Speakers choose, not always consciously by any means, how they say what they want to say. They are generally aware of the power dimension in the situation they find themselves in, and they also know who they want to be identified with, the solidarity dimension. In this conversation, every person seeks to resist, protect, or increase its power. Every speaker has a different behavior because of the power. People use language like a cultural artifact to express power and to control others. In this conversation, power plays a significant role in everything that happens. Every person uses certain language or variety with more symbolic power than the others. Each one has certain accent, style of speaking, or a specific type of discourse. In this conversation, language is used and abused in the exercise of power and the suppression of human rights.